Like I really tried to make this professional. I don't know why I did that.
I
That's just
mean,
not us.
you did say, let's hope I picked a good one. Does that imply that there's bad ones that you have?
Yeah. A lot of bad ones. Yep. Let's get this going.
Aluminum Spork.
Spork. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Thursday night, Tuesday premiere of Aluminum Spork. We are excited to be here. I'm Scott. This is Sporky News Podcast. We have some great topics for tonight, and we're gonna get into it pretty soon and quick. But first, let me introduce who is with us tonight, and we may have other significant guests jumping on. That's bullshit. No, it is. But we have the lovely Tina Bojan. How are you, Tina?
I'm doing very well. How's everybody out there? I hope you all had a restful Labor Day weekend, or for Grant, you had a restful weekend.
Yeah, today's Wednesday.
Oh, that's right. You're in the future. How you feeling, Grant? Gregory, mister?
Yeah, feeling good. I just realized something. I made that intro for you in 2021, and there's still no book out. So that's really weird when I see that thing that I wrote as a joke on the wall. That's still true.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I shave my legs in the morning. Thank you. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I love that. I am so known for that from the tens of fans I have that's like, I still believe we're going to get at least one of the books. So,
well, did you hear that he wrote a completely separate book over the summer?
What?
Mm-hmm. All right. Apparently off topic for a second, everybody. And hi, Brian. Hi, Adega. And those are the only two. Come on, people, write in there. Let me know you're here. What? Huh?
Yeah, so I haven't confirmed it yet, but I watch a lot of like the Song of Ice and Fire channels, and there's 2 or 3 of them that have said something about he's I don't really know what it is, but apparently there is another book of something that's coming out first.
I
someone Lightbringer and someone else said something.
David would know. I mean, he's really into it, so I can't say he's wrong, but I don't know. And that's for another night, because tonight is all about the weird, the unknown, and the covered up, I guess. So what do you guys know about Göbekli Tepe?
It's in Turkey.
Yes, it is. It is in Turkey. Well done, sir. Well done.
That's very good. I would have only been able to say the Mediterranean, so I'm impressed there, Grant.
It's on top of a hill. Well, they dug the hill out.
Yeah, actually, there was no hill. They created the hill by.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. The people who buried it.
Yeah. So Göbekli Tepe has become the oldest known monolithic site in the world. About 13,000 years old. It was, I think they dated about 11,600 BC or years ago, which would have been the Younger Dryas era. It was probably done for centuries. There are different levels to it, where they believe it was following astrology, the stars. I'll just say it was following the stars. So there are different actual. You see these enclosures. There's different ones so that as the stars processed in this night sky, they would actually build a new one. They believe to angle whatever star constellation they were looking at. But we really don't know because only 5% of it has been excavated since the mid 90s when Klaus Schmidt, the archaeologist,
you can trust the guy named Klaus.
Well, yeah, he might be one of the only Klauses I trusted. He started the excavation back in the 90s, and was able to get, I think, 1995, I believe, sometimes called Turkey's Stonehenge. So Klaus Schmidt started, the story is a farmer was in his fields, went up the hill, and there was like a stone sticking out of the ground. So he decided, he was going to dig out the stone. And as he dug, he realized it wasn't a stone, but some type of carved stone. Well, it was a stone, but not just a natural one. It was man-made, called German officials. And they got a hold of the school, German Archaeology Institute, and Klaus Schmidt came out, realized it was man-made. And now, 30 years later, which is crazy to me, but 30 years later.
Yeah, I know, right? You think about that, like that means that Hancock's book is over 30 years old, where he talked about something like this, and then it was discovered. Like, how crazy is that?
And he was ridiculed. So Graham Hancock is ridiculed.
Most dangerous documentary ever.
Yeah, most dangerous one ever. What is up, Eldrick Lord Hastar? Interesting. Thank you for saying that.
All right, I got a question. Well, what do you pose to the theory that it was the birthplace of agriculture and all the structures that come about were the reason that agriculture existed, not because of agriculture already existing?
Well, right, because they said that what they said was, we still believe they were hunter-gatherers. So either hunter-gatherers weren't, smart enough to build a culture in one spot because they would follow the herds. Not saying smart enough, but they didn't have the idea of doing that. But yet they decided that even though we follow the herds or whatever we're hunting as they migrate, while they're chilling in this area of Turkey, we are going to build, this massive monolithic enclosure. I just find that to be kind of
it's also the area is also known as the Fertile Crescent, where it's some of the earliest signs of agriculture, which also, strangely enough, has now turned it into some of the most sought after soil, even though it's barren. It's still extremely good for growing.
Yep. The funny thing is it is not barren, and we'll get into that too.
No, I'm saying that where it is, the site itself, right around.
Right. Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
but that could also be because we don't know where the earth or the stones or anything came from that they filled it in with.
Correct. I mean, just think about the size of this. So let me jump because you did say something interesting. Some people believe it was Eden. They believe that this area may be Eden because you are still in between the Euphrates and the Tigris. So some believe that, right? So some people, maybe they don't believe it, but I thought about that. So I don't know if I read that or I was thinking about that when they were talking about Noah's Ark being on one of the mountains of Ararat. And I realized that I believe it falls in between.
It falls in between the two, yeah. So it's somewhere between I say it's between the region of Mesopotamia and the river Tigris. I think it is how it's worded, and this falls within that general location. So,
right. So it could be, or it could have been something. Because let's think. What's up, Butcher? Great name. What it could have been, 13,000, 14,000 years ago,
or maybe 12,800.
12,800, 1,106. It could have been something that was, because everyone thinks where Mesopotamia was like down south, more southern portion of the Euphrates and the Tigris must have been where, it is.
Well, unless the climates were completely different to what they are now, then I don't see how it could be.
Well, they were. I mean, if you think about it, we were coming in and out and into an ice age at that time. So it was a bit different. It was more fertile, more water. But depending on what time period exactly it fell in, that would tell you. I mean, look at Egypt. Egypt, rainforest 10,000 years ago, or the end of it, or the Sahara at least. So there is some people saying that one of the reasons, when we'll get into it, this is not being excavated fast
That's true.
enough.
Jane, that's a good thing. It could be the rivers that have, because rivers constantly move and shift. So
they do. And they have found those two other ancient riverbeds, because it was supposed to be near or in between the four rivers. There was like two other rivers and the Tigris and the Euphrates. And doing LiDAR, they have found two other major rivers that would have been around 10,000 years ago. I don't know if they were that high up and go near Göbekli Tepe, but definitely near the Euphrates and the Tigris. But let's just say that whole area from Nevelkori in Turkey down to that northeast or eastern portion of Iraq was definitely civilization was created. Now, do we think that the Sumerians, right? The Sumerians? Why am I blanking right now? And was that the Sumerians? Oh my God.
Are you sure it's Sumerians?
No, I don't know. I'm blanking right now.
Sumerians?
Sumerian. Am I saying it wrong? I'm thinking like the Good Samaritan. No, so it
Samaritans.
Is Sumerians. Yeah, Samaritans.
Sumerians or Samaritans?
Sumerian.
Yeah.
Not tin.
They were
not
the assholes.
Gilgamesh, all those good guys.
Yeah, good bloke.
Good bloke. Great guy. But he, that is that really the creation of Western, I will say, civilization? Because China, Kim, what's up? Because China definitely had civilization. Like people always are like, it's the cradle of civilization. China was probably doing pretty well by then. But Western, at least, or close to Western civilization, I would say that it almost just appeared 6,000 years ago. So who's to say it was already there, kind of got hit when another ice age hit, and then was built back up? We just have no clue. And archaeologists make it seem like the tale has been told, and they're wrong. The idea that
they saw a rock, it had blue line in it, therefore it can only mean that.
Right. Exactly. It's one of those things where we need to be able to do more excavating. Now, coming back to Göbekli Tepe, the idea that excavation started back in the mid-90s, Klaus Schmidt, up until he passed away, was the head director of excavation. And he passed away back in what? Put that back up. What did it say? Every year the human race gets older by another 1,000 years. It does. I mean,
sorry, I put that into my calculator and I still didn't. I got an error. What does that mean?
It's a weird multiplication thing there. But so you have Klaus Schmidt, not Schmidt. Yeah, Klaus Schmidt.
That's what I kept thinking the whole time. I keep thinking Klaus Schwab.
Klaus Schwab.
Well, he might be involved. We don't know. Göbekli Tepe was known as stands for Potbelly Hill. He started this massive project, only getting 5% of it cleared out. I would say in 20 years. He ended up passing away in 2014 at the age of 61.
2015, Klaus Schwab is all over the world. Coincidence? I think not.
Well, let's just say after he passes away, a company called the Douglas Group steps in and negotiates by 2016 a deal with the Turkish government to...
So the subsidiary of BlackRock?
I don't know if they're a subsidiary of BlackRock, but they are definitely their CEO the board members, many people are well linked into the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab. Now he dies, Klaus Schmidt. 2 years later, they finally hammer out this deal. I don't know if I can't find anything where it says when they started negotiating this deal and if it was when he was still alive and he had anything against it.
Yeah, I with these sort of stuff, I always assumed that there was something nefarious that crept in.
I mean, 61, he has a little bit of belly, but a healthy guy, I'm saying, Bosh, how you doing, dude? It's been a while. We're just jumping everywhere. Survivor Stratagem. Great name. Thank you for being here. Göbekli Tepe was used as an astronomical observatory aligned with celestial events such as solstice or the precession of the equinox, or the Great Precession. The Great Precession. Is that what it is? Which you're talking about.
It was pretty great.
It was pretty great.
Yeah.
And that is Survivor, if you can remind me, is that 7,200 years, the precession? The Earth is on a wobble, and a complete rotation of that precession takes a couple thousand years, and I'm blanking at the exact time. But that, like right now, we just wobbled into the age of Aquarius, and it will keep going. That's why, star alignments are different than what they would have been when the Sphinx, was built, 34,000 years ago or so.
That was a nice way of sneaking it in.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
It's good to see Jane. Rivers may have been in different places. We just talked about that. Thank you for everybody just throwing stuff out there. This is awesome. This would indicate that early humans had a sophisticated understanding of astronomy long before the construction of later known observatories like Stonehenge. Well, and yes, and they must have had even way before building this Göbekli Tepe. Hey, dude.
Awesome.
Wait a minute.
Awesome.
Brian McCann gifts 5 Sporky News podcast memberships. Thank you so much, man. That means a lot to me. We have new members like Cam's Crash Course, Edgewise, CL, Adam Price. Good to see you, Adam. Let's see, Dale Sigmund. Thank you, Dale. You're all forced. And Damaja Nye, Pimp Daddy. That's Pimp Daddy music. 7,800. I was a little short on that. Okay. Thank you to all your new members. I appreciate it. The Nephilim educated mankind on these things, perhaps. Jane, I don't doubt that could have been real. There are too many stories about these beings coming down from the sky, teaching us, breeding with us, creating offspring.
Some might call them angelic, even.
Maybe angelic, or maybe angelic. Yeah, what I just did there.
Oh, that was good.
Thank you.
I don't think that's a word. I'm going to have to Google that. Also, Bush wants you to read this message.
Oh, go back to it. I'm sorry. MGG, make him say my name again after he says Vietnamese.
What was that word?
I walked right into that. You guys haven't done that to me in a long time. Vietnamese. Vietnamese.
There you get it. Vietnamese.
Thank you. Yes, Vietnamese. Did I say it wrong again? I don't know. I don't know why. I can't.
You said it right, and then you went, saying it wrong.
Yeah, so it's Bosh McFadden or Boosh McFadden, however you want to pronounce it. Brian McCann, he said the thing. I said the thing. Brian McCann. Brian McCann, India had civilization records going back 400K years pre-flood. Yeah.
They also had call centers.
Yeah. Egypt goes back 50 to 60,000 years, where the list of kings lines up. I mean, it lines up to the pharaohs and kings we know of. The idea that pre-ice age, pre-flood, mankind couldn't have lived a little longer. Maybe not 900 years, but who's to say they weren't healthier than we are now, living to $125, $130. We don't know these things, even though most of the bones tell us they died at like 12. Whatever. I don't like to believe it. Slender Dad in the house.
Maybe
too,
when they got older, their bones were more brittle, so therefore they didn't fossilize. Did they ever think of
that? That could be. That could be. At Jane, have you heard the Devil Towers being a petrified tree? People say the inside is very weird.
Yeah, it's like it's been struck by lightning, but the outside there's no structure of it. It's crazy.
Real? I don't even know the Devil Tower.
All right, I'll be back in like 15 minutes, guys.
Okay, buddy.
That's the mountain that looks like it's been a chopped off tree because it's totally flat at the top.
Oh, right. Oh, like
that's Devil's Tower.
Oh, the what's his name's movie? Contact.
Yeah, Close Encounters.
That movie. Okay.
Third kind.
I thought it was Devil's. I didn't know it was called Tower. I thought it was something a little different. Anyways, back to it. The gods, the sky people, thought people stuff. Yeah. They taught people stuff, definitely. So Göbekli Tepe, we have no clue really what it was for. Now I do side with the chat where they said it's definitely the first one that they have excavated must line up with celestial being, celestial objects, solstice, equinox, things like that. But we've only gotten 5%. Now, after he passed away in 2016, the Douglas Group took over. Now, the Douglas Group is intertwined with the World Economic Forum. And if you don't know who the World Economic Forum is, they are a group that tells you you'll own nothing and love it. You should eat bugs. We're not.
They like to commune.
Yeah. We're not communists. We're socialists. Okay. You're commies. And any guy who sounds like Klaus Schwab, I'm sorry. No offense to the German people, but your name is Klaus. Okay. Bad guy name. Schwab. Sounds like a banker. And you talk like that. I can't do the accent. You know that. But we'll play him later. The guy already seems terrifying to me. Now, the Douglas Group is run by a guy named Ferret Chanet, who is definitely up in the World Economic Forum hierarchy. Now, their plan in 2016, let me get that article up because it's kind of important to stick with this. This was what they put out there in, I don't know if it has 2018. This was 2018. Okay. What did I just do? Did I just not share? Okay. 2018, Douglas Group 20-year partnership in support of Göbekli Tepe. And I'm trying to figure out, because a lot of places end it at the I and Tempe is a new word, but a lot of others put it all together. So I don't know. Maybe that's the German pronunciation. The world's oldest ritual complex. Douglas Group, the Turkish-based international conglomerate. If you guys are new here, I can't read. Founded in 1951, has already invested $15 million in Göbekli Tepe, a major archaeological site dating back 12,000 years and home to the oldest cult structure in the world. Do you want to read, Tina, please?
I'm absolutely.
Having issues. So, right here. You can start recording.
Okay. According to the partnership with the Turkish Ministry of Culture and Tourism, Wilsi Dugas Group became the sole partner of the major Neolithic site, extending beyond a typical corporate sponsorship with a very holistic and global approach. Dugas Group has committed to building continuous brand awareness and communications to support the site on a global level and encourage visitors from across the world. In addition to a generous donation for the ongoing excavations at the site, the 20-year sponsorship launched a global level in January 2016 at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Includes a new visitor and need you to scroll for
Yep.
me.
We're going to stop there for a second.
Oh, okay.
So don't forget that they said a holistic effort, brand awareness, and but like they were talking, where does it say that again? The holistic part. You said something about
sorry, a very holistic and global approach to the
Okay.
corporate sponsorship.
Global approach, first off, is a World Economic Forum like tagline. Everything is about global. They don't want countries. They want a global society. So for them just to add a global approach, like they're trying to play it off as like, yeah, global, like everyone's involved. No, this is the idea of making it more of what they want us to see. And for it to be holistic, I'm going to bring up some pictures in a few minutes after I scroll for you of what they decide, what they think holistic is. Okay.
So when they're saying global, they could be instead of it sounding like, hey, we're all going to work together, it's going to be like, hey, we are going to control the information that we're going to give to you.
Exactly. Culture Casino, a man that most likely knows a lot about the World Economic Forum. How are you, sir?
I'm great. I'm not a big fan of the WEF, but yeah, I mean I know a little bit. So
Yeah.
How
Well,
are you all?
We are doing great. Thank you for coming on the show tonight.
You betcha.
And once again, congratulations on 25K. You're
you
probably
bet.
way past that already, baby. 50K is your next shot.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I wouldn't have got there without, you or, Mr. Grant Gregory, especially, great support from Tina here, despite her terrible opinions. So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad
Jane.
to have you here. Yeah, Jane's in the house. She says it's not as if they don't control the countries too. They're just trying to be more efficient. Yeah. Well, that's a good way of putting it, Jane.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I'm trying to find tourists. Structures. I don't know. I'll look at that. But so they say this idea of holistic. Now they put a roof over the top of it. This roof, from reports by people like Bright Insight, the great YouTube channel who was the first to report on this. It's shoddy work. They poured concrete over portions of this hill that is a complete monolithic site that has not been excavated yet. They poured concrete walkways. They added, and I'm going to show you guys this picture because I find it to be insane. After they took over and they're saying that this was the owners, whoever owns the property. I don't know. But if you had a monolithic site, would you have, this used to be barren, would you have added over this site all these groves? All these olive groves have been planted on top of this monolithic site. Now, I don't know about you guys, roots can cause havoc on stone, concrete, can crack it in half, it can crush it. They decided that it was a smart idea to put these groves over the top. Now, there are olives. In the country of Turkey, it is illegal once an olive plant is planted to cut it down. So why did they choose olives? Because now it's now you would have to take them to court to get rid of those groves, because there is a law in Turkish law, olive trees cannot be just cut down, which is crazy, but everyone has their own ethnic and different societal laws. I understand that. But it's pretty funny. I mean, look how close it is to the structure. I can't speak tonight or any night. But
do we know how many decades it was between when the grove was planted and the original discovery of
about 20 years.
Really?
So they discovered it in the mid 90s. This was planted after about 10, maybe right around the time Klaus Schmidt died, like after he passed away. They planted all these groves. Now this whole hill was covered by people. This hill was not there. This was filled in by the people of that time to protect this site from what? The flood, I don't know, but they literally brought in so much earth to cover this site that it created a small hill. And then you go, and it's been barren ever since, used for grazing farm animals, and you go ahead and plant all this, and then further on they started running concrete walkways, and then they put the roof over it to protect it, which is not protecting it. It just seems really shady ever since this group took over, the Douglas group. Now, the Douglas group also, I'll let you read a little bit more. Well, we'll read just a little bit more of what they're saying their plans were for this.
Okay. Well, their plans included a new visitor center and visitor and exhibition center that opened early this year, as well as the development of a new brand ID. That sounds way too corporate. Sensory ID and sound ID to be used across all communication by Dogus Group and the ministry with a unique and holistic approach.
Holistic again. Just remember, it's so holistic. It's bullshit.
Called Potbelly Hill by locals for its gently sloping curves, the monumental buildings at Göbekli Tepe were constructed of limestone and featured large monolithic T-shaped stone pillars, some of which carry breathtaking imagery, including carved depictions of wild animals.
Yeah.
The site in southeast Turkey was constructed by humans during a period commonly referred to as early Neolithic, when humans made the transition from hunting to gathering and farming, a process known as Neolithization.
This is another good part right here. So let's just read a little bit of that, and then we'll... Oops, sorry.
Okay, following an architectural competition called in 2015 by Dogus Group, an Istanbul-based practice was commissioned to produce a timeless scheme that would have a positive impact on the site's environment, help underline the significance of this historic location, and redesign the tourist experience, whilst also encouraging people from across the world to visit this iconic yet underexplored destination.
Underexplored. Remember that too. And don't forget, it's going to feature large counters for ticket offices, and as well as a souvenir store, cafe, and restrooms on one end, and state-of-the-art animation center on the other end, which audiovisual high-tech. So they're turning it into a tourist trap. Okay. So one of the reasons it might not be as nefarious, but it's still nefarious, that I believe they're not excavating is because they're making so much money right now. Tourism has gone up astronomical in the last decade to Göbekli Tepe because of people like Graham Hancock and others like Jimmy at Bright Insight. People reporting on this have made people want to go there and see the oldest known site in the world from a monolithic structure. Now, 95% back in 2014, I believe, was undiscovered. Only 5% excavated. I think they're at like 5.5 now. Now, one of the things the Douglas Group did say, and I will have to find that one in a second, is what their plans are for excavation there, because there are small groups excavating right now. So I can't say that it's not completely being not being excavated, but they are doing it with very small groups, very slow. What do you guys think about what they're planning on doing there, Grant Gregory?
Well, I'm assuming that when they took over the site, they had to continue excavation, so they're doing the bare minimum.
Yes. Yep. That's one of the reasons. Yes. I think that's the only reason they're still doing it, because they're making a ton. Yeah. And they put $15 million into it, but it wasn't for excavation. Why turn something that is not even close to being discovered into a tourist trap instead of actually keeping people freaking away from it, not putting down concrete sidewalks, not building structures over it, not putting olive groves all over the mountain? Why aren't you actually trying to find out what this thing really was? I think they say there's about at least 200 T-shaped pillars that they have figured out from LiDAR, they've only excavated, I think, 70 or 75 of them. So there is still a story to be told that we have no clue what it's about. Because on each one of these pillars, there's some amazing carvings, like carvings of jaguars coming out of the stone. So they had to literally carve into this. I mean, it's unbelievable workmanship.
Would have taken a lifetime.
Yeah, a lifetime, exactly.
Or just a lot of slaves. I hear they're really good at building stuff.
Well, yeah, or tools that we can't imagine.
Yeah, very well. Like, what would you think? Like, are we talking sonic, magnetic?
Well,
no, you just said you can't imagine it, so he's got no idea.
Oh. Well, yeah, I wish I could. But look, it could be a number of things. But I mean, look, we're just rediscovering how to utilize magnetism. So levitation is now possible using plasma research with magnetism. So, like I said, I mean, we lost so many technologies at the last polar shift. It would be great to have like some of that knowledge back. Oh, also, it would be great not to have Earth be the only planet that we lived on. Just because,
it's kind of something that I think about. I mean, we're trying to go back to a planet I think we may have been from.
Which one?
Mars.
Red planet.
The red planet at one point had an atmosphere, had water. We don't know for how long, but it had to be for the amount of water it had on the planet. And from what they could tell, I mean, oceans, massive oceans, rivers, let's just say 1 billion years out of how many, probably 4.5, around the same as Earth. In 1 billion years, a civilization that many could be grown, lost, and gotten to the height of being able to do what we're about to be able to do. Now, let's just say they know that an incoming cataclysm's about to happen, the scar of Mars. Something must have hit it. Maybe another planet, maybe a massive asteroid. They may have seeded our planet to keep life going. They could have came down here, the Anunnaki, and actually spliced their DNA. Not the Anunnaki, no, but who's to say that the story wasn't embellished and changed a bit? But there is a good chance. Our nukes are pathetic compared to back then. And that could be. I mean, look at the Ark of the Covenant, what that thing was able to do, which may have had some nuclear radiation because you had to wear certain suits, you had to be a certain Jewish set, which is, I think, the Levites.
I mean, they claim to be the chosen people, so who knows?
I mean, the people that carried it, fingernails, hair would fall out. They would grow tumors. They would, things would happen to them.
Wait a minute. Grant, aren't you one of those chosen people?
Not those specific subset, no.
Okay.
You know which one you are? You know which group?
What tribe he's from?
Yeah. You know the tribe?
I would imagine he would.
Yeah, I'm not from a tribe. I'm a convert. There's a difference.
Oh.
I was trying to find the article that I had before. My son turned off my computer.
Oh boy.
Yeah, there's an article that this Douglas group has decided that they want to put off complete excavation of this, really starting for another maybe 100 years to 150 years, allowing future generation and technology to be able to do it right. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think we have the technology to excavate an ancient site.
Yeah.
And if it was discovered in 95, around there, why would you put it off 6-7 generations when we want to know that? I know why. I know why. What do you think, Culture?
They're terrified of what would be found, and they don't want that knowledge to be exposed to the planet, because they haven't accomplished the complete control of every civilization yet.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I mean, it could tell us, it could rewrite history. I mean, it already has, but it could rewrite biblical history. It could change everything. It could tell us, it could change religion altogether. It can change. And that's what I think a lot of them fear.
Well, they don't want people to have faith. I mean, let's just be
that's
firm
true
about it.
So are we saying that they want to unite all the world's peoples under their ideology?
Under their authoritarian rule. Yeah. Well, I mean, these are Moloch loving mother truckers. So,
Yeah, that is definitely true, man. So here, let's look at this one real quick. This was from 2016. So this is the Douglas group. Now this picture is dope. This is like, barely anything that they've actually excavated. The ancient site of Göbekli Tepe in Turkey has rewritten the early history of civilization. The world's oldest monuments may soon get an image makeover. A new project will promote and preserve Göbekli Tepe, home to the most ancient temple structure ever discovered. Turkey hopes to eventually boost tourism. So this is how the Douglas Group in the World Economic Forum got their claws into it. Hey, Turkey, you guys can make a lot of money off this from tourism. Yeah, we don't listen to Graham Hancock and people like him, but they've really pumped this up so much that people might want to really, I don't know, check it out. And I think that's how they sold it to them. And they talk about the Syrian conflict, but they have enough time. It's been enough time now where they could have been excavating. How long now would you say, Culture? That refugee crisis was.
If this is a 1975 thing, and I mean they should have already have. And they started in 95. This should have been this should have actually been done in 10 years at most. I mean, we have entire sites in Egypt that are done in just, a few years time.
Right.
So this is ridiculous.
And what kills me is, you have they believe there's quite a few of these circle enclosures because for how many centuries or millennia that this was around, they would build a new one to follow the stars. Who's to say deeper down you find pottery that's 1,000 years older than you thought?
We found wine. They found wine chutes that they could determine that's how they would transport their wine. Which is a weird thing to think about. Plus, there's a lot of aquifers and everything underneath, so there's no way that there isn't way more to
right
to explore.
More things that you could explore and actually do some type of carbon dating.
Just the different type of technology.
Were you going to say something, Culture?
Just that these exist all around the globe. These types of circular entry points into the earth. The one of the things that they did very well with way back in ancient societies was manage temperature and create, environments like this. They even planted trees and things, 30, 40, 50 feet underground because these holes would exist far above them. And the natural cooling, the natural cooling of the earth, they'd feed up into like what would normally look like a well, and that well would allow for sunlight to come in for a portion of the day. In fact, there's a guy that kind of recreated this idea in California. You can actually visit an underground, like an underground arboretum, for lack of a better way to put it.
Oh, wow.
The surface of the area is also heavily planted with drought tolerant plants, but this is in, a part of California where, despite the fact that you get the breezes, you also get a lot of hot. So but no, this is something ancient civilizations have done for a long time, and sometimes these things would stretch on for who knows how big they would get. So underground living isn't a new concept to humanity.
And I mean, if you think about that, perfect point there, only a few kilometers away, in the big scheme of things, is I can never pronounce it. It's the underground system of caves and in Turkey that could hold over 20 to 30,000 people. It had barns, it had a wine press area, it had ventilation, it had halls where they can meet, housing, small areas where each family had their own house, wells dug 50 to 100 feet down. What is the name of that place? I can't think. Someone in the chat will know.
Yeah, the bigger one than
well, not old. Cartempe. That's the bigger one. I'm talking about the underground. Here, I'll find it. You guys talk for a second.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
It's like the Darren Kuyu?
Yeah, Darren Kuyu. That's perfect. Thank you. Darren Kuyu is the underground one. So I'll get a picture of what it looks like if you were to cut out, from the side. It's unbelievable. This is not far away from Göbekli Tepe and Kara Tempe. Here we go. I'll just bring this whole page up right here.
And you can tell they're related because they all have the same last name, Tepe. So also we have 2 new subscribers.
Oh, really? Sweet. Thank you for subscribing, Mari Mekin. And okay. Muzzerfer99. Muzzerfer99, right? Is that you, Grant? Are you doing this to me?
No.
Great names though. So this is it right here. This would be like a side view of it, but they literally had I think it was like 10 levels deep into the earth. This humongous facility, this city underground, where they didn't even know it. They built a present day city over it. Some guy was trying to break through his basement foundation he was planning on to make something bigger, maybe like
and then his chickens ran through, so he had to chase his chickens.
Yeah, he got to chase the chickens.
He chased the chickens, and then ended up finding this whole big crazy structure, like
kind of something like that.
Yeah.
He literally fell into it. But they had just look at some of the incredible stuff here. They had these stone circles, the wheel, to roll in front of passageways to either, to defend themselves or to protect themselves from whatever was outside. They said in certain rooms, the acoustics are unbelievable. And the frequencies that it gives off is like they call it like the heavenly frequency or the God frequency, where
the God frequency.
Yeah. It brings you like peace.
Yeah. In fact, there are some channels on YouTube you can utilize that to sleep to.
Really? Yeah. That's a brilliant idea. But right there, you're absolutely right. It's like a frequency that just brings you like an inner peace as you hear it.
Yeah.
Because these people knew about frequency, using sound, magnetics, all these things to better their lives. Just because we went with the combustible engine doesn't mean we're the most advanced civilization. Now, this is what it looked like. And they tried to say that this is only maybe 1,000 years old. Early Christians built this because they found a cathedral in there, but early Christians must have
it wasn't a cathedral. They just said it was a cathedral, but when we saw what it was just a room. Like
it was like a room where you can hold a sermon or something. But
yeah,
it definitely wasn't
been anything.
Right. It was probably this one right here. I think that's the one they were talking about. But they brought it right to the water line. You know what I mean? Like they knew exactly where to stop. They had how many different access points. They had wells. Wine presses. They had animals down there. These people were willing to live down there from something, maybe a catastrophe, the younger Dryas idea of either a solar impact or a comet impact causing havoc above ground. Many cultures,
we don't know.
You never know. Where do the zombies come from? The idea of it might be an ancient thing. But the idea that these people in all over the world built underground, like escape layers. I don't even know what to call it.
Labyrinth, bunkers.
Bunkers. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Bunkers.
It is pretty bonkers.
How did they breathe? G Cash asked. They literally built ventilation into it. So if you could see, it all goes to the wells, but they also had ventilation access points going up.
And they were also growing plants and things. That's the other thing. Most people, I mean, there are architectural mysteries we still can't solve. You know, the gardens, you know, the gardens
Babylon.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much out there in the world where like, how did this happen? Well, it happened because people were like, you know, we need to control our environment. And to do that, we need to first control our temperature. Where is the stable temperature? Well, it's, 6 feet underground. Once you get 6 feet underground, it's warmth of the earth. Yeah.
You know, you made me remember when you were talking about that culture, the idea, being they would do that also to acclimate certain plant species to a colder environment. I didn't even think about that, but I did read that somewhere. It's very interesting. I mean, I don't know if you probably know this because you're into this stuff too, but the Amazon rainforest was planted. I mean, it was a planted forest at one point. There is a lot of evidence that the majority of it just went wild, but it was actually a planted forest or garden. That once those
I'm not so sure about that one.
I don't know,
one of the
man.
ones that he says, like there's a lot of people who are like Amazon experts and like people who are that strongly disagree with it. And I mean, I guess if they're spending a lot of time in there and they know, like, it's one of those ones. I don't think it was someone's garden.
Well, I'm not saying the whole thing was. I'm saying there are portions that have a special type of soil that was man-made, and the part of the forest is on it.
Yeah, the black soil.
Yeah, what is it called?
Yeah.
Well, remember now that there was an experiment done in the Amazon rainforest itself where they brought in
Terra Preta.
Hundreds of thousands of orange peels, citrus peels, and they put them all over the Amazon. And the citrus peels obviously broke down over a period of time, and it was the most lush part of that rainforest.
Really?
Yeah, you can actually. There's a lot of stuff. Experiments like that. In fact, if you're trying to, like, let's say reestablish space is not desert, that's one of the pathways forward. And then and it also helps inoculate the soil. It's much like using the burned wood. I forget what that's called. It just fell out of my head, but
charcoal.
No, well, yeah, but I mean, it's an inoculated thing with nutrients and everything else that basically helps feed plants.
Yeah, the carbon in it breaking down.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it's called. Hang on a minute.
The reason it keeps growing is because Amazon, the ground is always wet. It's never dry.
But that soil itself does not lose nutrients as fast as
no, because everything's constantly breaking down.
Yeah, but they've actually
biochar. That's what it's
called. It's sped up because of the heat, and two, the moisture.
Yeah, but they also have done for over a couple decades, just brought in normal topsoil and dirt, and it never kept up like this soil does. It's just something about this soil it's almost like, and you're right, things that break down on it will refertilize it, but it needs less care than a normal soil would. And you're right, there's a lot of plants.
And there's something about the plants too that are in the Amazon, because if they deforest an area, then all of a sudden the dirt ends up back to like normal common soil.
Real quick too.
Yep.
And it doesn't like pop up. There was a quick little sprout or popping up. I mean, once they deforest it, it's dead. Put your soybeans in, but you're not getting a tree popping out of that ground. It's really weird how that
and the
forest runs.
Big problem that a lot of people have had that have tried to actually cultivate it is not everything will grow there. A lot of stuff just won't grow. It's too rich of a soil.
pH is high or something like that.
They tried to grow corn. The corn come out all like warped. They couldn't get any sort of gorge to grow because it was just too wet for it.
Right.
So it's very interesting, but Like that sort of thing, I think, is something that we've got to try and preserve.
Oh God, yeah, and they're tearing it down, man.
Yeah.
Well,
there was that guy. There was the guy that actually ended up going and paying all the loggers to look after it. The guys that were logging it, knocking it down and everything. He went up and he gave them all $50,000 US to stop logging for a year and stop people from logging.
Really?
Oh, wow. Yeah. He's done a whole. He was on. I think he was on Rogan twice.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. He's not from there. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
No, he's a Yank, but he's
the guy who
he's actually got a treehouse down there. He's got a treehouse down there, and Elon went down there and hooked him up with
Starlink.
The Starlink, yeah.
Yeah.
So he could do a lot of his stuff now from his treehouse in a 200-foot bloody tree down there.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, man. Terra Preta. Culture, you were going to say something?
Oh, nothing important, I assure you.
Oh, well, I like hearing what you have to say. All right. So the T-shaped pillars, this is some of the stuff they've found on some of these T-shaped pillars. So this is a massive pillar with this, probably a jaguar. They literally had to take a much bigger stone and then carve it to the T-shape, leaving this section out. I mean, like the technique these hunter-gatherers had, where did they learn to do that? Where did you come up? Like, you didn't just all of a sudden be like, you know what I'm going to try? I'm going to take this humongous, 50-ton piece of stone that took us forever to get here, and I'm going to carve a jaguar on the outside, which we don't even have jaguars here. I'm going to do that. And then if I just screw up a bit, we will go get another freaking huge stone, whatever. Like, these guys had a lot of really impressive ability to do what they did.
Well, if they made a mistake, they just make it smaller.
Yeah. Go ahead, please.
So, CJH Entertainment joked around saying that they were hungry, but I would almost argue the opposite. I mean, in order to be able to accomplish this, they had to live pretty well if they were not just subsistence.
Right.
Yeah.
They weren't hunting and gathering. They weren't following the herd. You know what I mean?
People don't build monuments when they're 2 days away from death or from starvation.
Well, just even keeping an eye on the herd and being like, okay, it's migrating south. Well, we'll do this, once a year for 3 weeks. It doesn't make sense. Some of the pillars are quite interesting. Some people believe the one on the left is showing constellations. We do have a disc shape this buzzard is holding. Some believe right above the disc, like right here, is one of the oldest calendars in the world. You also have the handbags that have, it's weird, but these handbags are seen in a lot of ancient designs, Sumerian, Egyptian, that and the pine cone, which could be the pituitary gland, right? Pituitary. It's just very interesting.
So is that Prada, Coach, and Michael Kors?
Something like that.
Okay, just want to make sure.
In understanding, well, now imagine this. I mean, there's a lot known and a lot not known about the pineal gland. Gland.
Yes.
And that, it's been suggested that it could be that as well, because that's the reset of the chakra. It's it creates a sense of well-being and healing and things like that. So
some say it's the third eye, right?
Yeah. And what it allows for is again a lot of mysticism tied to that, but at the same time, it's supposedly the God frequency helps to activate the pineal gland. Most people, So I mean, we're kind of talking in circles about a lot of this stuff, but it's seemingly interconnected. So that.
No, that's a really good point of putting it. They're all interconnected, but yet many of these different cultures knew about it. Now, going beyond Göbekli Tepe, some people say, oh, well, it's just this one site, even though it's the most important site at the moment. Other sites are being excavated. Other things are happening. Do you remember when they announced that above the Grand Chamber in the Great Pyramid, they found another chamber the same size? Did you guys hear about that?
I remember.
Okay.
Remember?
Do you remember when that was?
No, I was a kid, so I'm assuming 90s.
Probably about the same time.
No, not that long ago. It was like, I believe, around 2017. Yet they have not
I thought that was when the guy that said that there was one in the Sphinx head.
No. That's older. There is one in the Sphinx head. I mean, there you can see the cap on top of it in pictures. There's like a manhole on top.
Well, yeah, it was Jewish, so.
But they I think it's 2017, so 7 years ago at least. But yet they have not made one attempt to figure out what's in there. Now, they've been telling us the Great Pyramid was a tomb for a pharaoh. Yet no body, no hieroglyphics, nothing, no pottery, nothing. The thing was,
more importantly, no esophagus. It's like sarcophagus, whatever it's called.
Sarcophagus.
Yeah, they believe that they try to tell us this little small box in there is.
That wasn't in the center of the room. It was on the side. It had nothing to do with anything. How is that?
I just got to say goodnight to one of my kids. You guys speak among yourself.
Which one? Is it the favorite? I bet you it's the favorite.
Don't do that to me.
So yeah, that's what I reckon. I reckon it's all full of shit. I know they said that the second one was the King's Chamber. Then they went, the other one. No, that's the Queen's Chamber. That had nothing in it.
Well, I thought I heard that most of the pyramids don't have evidence of being tombs.
No, I mean, not any of the ones, at least in I was about to say Gaza. In Giza, the burial, there is an area where it seems like all the kings and pharaohs were buried. But that is not near this, the pyramids. So what were the pyramids for, But yet you would think this would be a main topic for them to discover. Oh, wow, we found a new chamber. Hold on, I'll share this.
And if there's any way that the pyramids generated some type of power, and it was
definitely
clean power, you would think that that would be where people would be spending most of their, green save the world money on, instead of adding more of those very, very large wind turbines that are killing our whales, killing our birds,
right,
destroying our landscape.
Yeah, and Sol is correct. So they found writing in the Great Pyramid of I think it was it Ramsey?
Yeah, it was Ramsey. It wasn't Giza.
Pharaoh
Giza
Ramsey
has nothing.
Yeah. And a lot of people have claimed, and it's pretty much proven, that the archaeologist himself wrote the name on there. He scratched it in so that there was a find and he can get more funding.
Oh, his name was Cliff. Those were his notes.
So, wrong. So
what up, Ruben? Looking good, man. Ruben has lost a lot of weight. He is looking good.
He's lost me in weight.
Adam, one of my new members. Yeah, he lost a lot of weight. And just keep an eye on the chat if you guys see a good question or anything. Yeah, so there's this hidden chamber. I hate that it always opens up a different freaking page.
Copy the link and paste it in the same page that you've got.
Well, that's what I'm doing. It just sucks that it does that. If you look at it, big in it. So you got the grand gallery right here, which is on such a slope, like it wasn't meant to be like a gallery anyways. And then you have this
that's a bit phallic, isn't it?
That right. The king's chamber.
Yeah.
And then you got the little one that's the queen's.
But why would a tomb need a breathing hole?
And quite a few of them.
Well, you'd need them while you were building.
I guess you're right.
Why wouldn't they fill it in?
They did block it with they did block some of them with I I think it was stone with like metal fittings on them. That they sent a robot up.
A robot.
A little robot. It was like a little little car.
Oh yeah,
car
like in SG1.
Something like that. But here's the big void. They found another small void, yet we have not even attempted to see what's inside. Maybe that's where the king is. Maybe that's where all the, the writing is. Why wouldn't they want to move on it? Now, again, we can go back to money. They would have to shut down the Great Pyramid. Tourism would drop a bit to do this, not even excavation, just search. Or is it more nefarious than that? We don't want to know, because there is a good chance that they have sent up these shafts already, your little robots. They probably already saw that. You know what I mean? They must have known it, because I've seen footage of them going up these shafts. So how is that in between the shaft right here, but yet we're just finding out about it in 2016? What does Ruben have to say? Oh, go ahead first.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, seriously, we have miniature drones with decent flight time. There's zero reason why we haven't explored any of that stuff.
Absolutely, man.
And why we don't have, feedback from that.
Right.
Seriously. Unless there's some kind of electromagnetic field from these pyramids that makes it so you can't do any of that type of exploration.
And that's a good point. I mean,
you know why you can't climb up the top of Giza anymore?
Why is that?
Because a French couple were caught rooting up the top.
Is that Australian for
yeah.
doing it?
Yep.
That's the only reason.
They were doing what you've done too many times, Scott, and ended up with offspring.
Yeah, but be careful.
Not the way they were doing it.
Be careful out there, please.
Wrap it up.
Don't have any.
Also, like if this is, I don't buy the fact that they've gone. Oh, well, no, it was filled. It was definitely filled with stuff, and someone just ran off with Khufu's body. That's what happened.
Yeah, no,
just throwing it randomly out there. It's like, where's your proof of that?
No, there's the something of the Kings. What is it called? The
Valley of the Kings.
Valley of the Kings, and that's
where everyone that was a king was buried. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah. Just like the one they had those stone sarcophagus. You said it before, now I can't say it.
Sarcophagus.
Thank you, sir. Where they were supposedly for their sacred bowls.
Supposedly.
I can't speak. You know this. You've known me long enough. Where they said it was for their sacred bowls, but yet I think they've only found.
That's some really good weed, dude.
I wish. But yeah, if you look at a lot of these ancient sites, there's the one in, and I'm not going to be able to say this one right, so I better look it up first. You have the one that's
first, then correct yourself later.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, huh? No, the one down in not the Philippines, down in near
in
you.
The valley with the girls down there?
Somewhere around there. The Valley Girls. No, Penang.
What country is it in? Thailand?
Over somewhere there.
Bangkok?
No, it's...
You're better off dead.
Better off dead. You know the street value of this mountain? No, someone help me out in the chat. You know what I'm trying to say.
No.
Okay, so Graham Hancock had one episode. They say it's volcanic rock.
No, he had more than one episode, dude. He had like a whole series.
It's about this one. They're all these stone like rectangles made out of volcanic stone, and they try to tell us it's a natural occurrence, but there's people doing excavations and LiDAR saying that it's man-made, maybe 24,000 years old. No, it's not in Japan.
I'm big in Japan.
So you mean Nan Madol?
Yeah, how do you spell that?
Nanmad.
Say it again, because I can't hear you.
Nan, Nan. I'm assuming MAD. OL.
Oh, there it is. Ha-ha.
Is that the one you're talking about?
It may be. I'm gonna look.
That's the only one I can think of that's near where I am.
No, that's one of the ones though. That's a good one. No, I'm thinking of Indonesia. Thank you, Ruben. Thank you, sir. It's in Indonesia.
Yeah, when you're saying Padang, there's Puku.
No, that's in Peru.
That's in Bolivia.
Oh, right off. Okay, close.
Well, that's pretty close.
It is. It's
Down the
actually right
street
over the
from
border.
Peru.
Yeah, it's right over the border.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just thought things mattered. Never mind.
Not
So
for
you're
me.
talking about Padang.
It was a joke.
Yes,
Good Lord.
Gadang Padang, Mr. Grant Gregory, Mr. Sensitive tonight. How do you spell
not
that
sensitive.
one?
You're sensitive. Shut up.
You're sensitive. Shut your face.
Yeah.
Ladies, calm down.
Put your hat backwards.
This is a serious. This is a serious show.
Let me get the other one. Thank you, culture. Someone.
Welcome to Sports Talk with Scotty.
So the New England
Red
Patriots, the Red Sox. How do you spell that one? The Indonesian.
REDSOX.
You know,
Red Sox.
You now look less professional.
Thank you, sir. That's the whole point.
Oh,
now does this look all right?
That's more professional look.
Thank you, Ganang. Leave that up.
Ganang Padang.
And this is why I haven't broke.
That sounds like another
subscribers.
That's why you wrap it up every time.
No, that's not true, Scotty. You've broken 6,000 subscribers 7 times.
Yeah, it's been about 4 times now, and I'm still, dude. I lost. I don't want to get into it, but I lost like another 40 again.
Why?
It just keeps happening. I jump over 6,000, and they knock out 50.
He'll get a steady run of like 5 to 10 for like a month and a half, and then all of a sudden it'll be like, all right, now we're going to lose 30 a day.
Yeah, this was my best March and April ever. And then my worst May and July or June.
Well, did you stop making content?
No, no.
All right.
Yep. I don't know what happened.
CJH wanted us to take a look at a comment here that Earth has been losing carbon in its atmosphere for some time now. As a result, plants began to grow slower and smaller to sustain themselves. In recent years, as a result of human activity, it has been found that crops were growing quicker now due to the elevated levels of CO2 in the atmosphere, giving a greater abundance of building materials.
Oh, don't tell Greta.
Yeah, right. I work with an old timer. That was years ago, and he would always say that. He goes, "What do we make? CO2, carbon dioxide, monoxide, whatever. The plants are eating it."
Yep. Yeah, and that's the other part of that conversation. We were in 1976, if I'm not mistaken, 77. We were actually headed into an ice age, according to NOVA. So we could definitely have a conversation around climate bologna sausage if you wanted to, but it's not good for your subscriber count and for your visibility. So maybe not talk about that.
No, you're absolutely right, man. I mean, the idea that either we're heating up or we're going into ice age. Make up your mind. Yeah, exactly.
It's hot ice. So
yeah. What's his name? Didn't Al Gore tell us we'd all be like in boathouses by now?
And then he promptly went out and bought a bunch of lake and oceanfront property. So,
yeah, and that's the thing. This same old timer, the same old timer told me when you start seeing the million and billionaires buying land in like Tennessee, in the Rockies more than and not living on the coast, then you should start worrying, because where do most people live? They would live on the coast. So yeah, this is one of the sites that Graham Hancock brought up, where they try to tell us it is a natural occurrence, but yet they're finding these open cavities going up in different increments, showing like maybe generational building on top of this. And they believe that the oldest one cavity that they found opening is probably 24,000 years old. They don't want us to think about that though. This is one of those sites, again, they will not, they fight the idea of.
Well, it's the cult of science. That's the problem. They say it's scientific, but they treat all people who disagree with it as heretics.
and they ridicule them.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the guy who came up with the idea of, the tectonic plates actually moving, and they thought he was a whack. And then he finally, in his like 80s or 90s, won a Nobel Prize. And when they asked him,
and then he died.
Yeah, well, he was like, "What would you say to your critics?" He says, "I wish I could, but they're all dead." These people ruined that man's life, and yet he was correct. It's just, no matter what new idea people come up with, Earth is not the center of the universe. The planets go around the sun. The planet's not flat. They always treat that person as a heretic until they're proven right. And they don't care that they destroy all these people's lives. Appalachian land is being bought up fast. It is actually, you're right. Tennessee is growing. And billionaires are making massive bunkers. Take a look at one of our
they're buying farmland, while on an unrelated note, all these food producing places are magically setting themselves on fire.
Yeah,
after,
mostly chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the other farmlands being bought by Chinese corporations.
Yeah, that's a problem.
No, please speak on it, because it is a huge problem. This is Aluminum Spork. It's open.
Yeah, well, the truth is we should really be blocking foreign ownership of any land in the United States, even if, corporation or no. In fact, we should be like saying, what did you pay for this? Hey, here's your money back. Yep. Thanks for thinking so highly of us, but you can't own this.
Right. And it's funny how a lot of them are being built around, being bought up,
by military bases.
Yeah, military bases.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Or like how
nothing to see here. Move along.
Nothing. I mean, we spoke about it. A lot of this stuff you can find on older episodes of Aluminum Spork. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. But we had one where we talked about how they were actually one of the telecommunication companies from China won some grant where they were building infrastructure, and they were running these, I don't know if they were like wireless amplifiers, but they were putting them perfectly across from like military bases. And it was like, they could maybe be picking up a lot of stuff they shouldn't be. And I think one of the states, and I don't remember which, and I apologize because whoever it was, that senator was a hero, pushed the subject. And now I think they're taking them all down because it's a, not, what do you call it? It's a crisis, I guess. I don't know. I'm blanking on the words I'm trying to use at all tonight. But yeah, so they're trying to say all this stuff is just, that's how it, it's how it landed. None of this is man-made. None of it. I mean, it's a freaking pyramid. Does that not look like a pyramid to you? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to pop it in bigger so you guys can see it. But I don't know how you could think on the right here, this is not man-made.
No, I mean, everyone knows that straight lines are a perfect normal thing in nature.
Right. I mean, they believe this is what it would look like on the left. But like the one in Kosovo, I believe it's Kosovo. The pyramid might be the largest in the world, and all they do is ridicule that guy who discovered it. And he's on a lot of different podcasts trying to get interest, trying to get funding. And they, at every turn, same with Gadang, that one, funding is getting crushed because the academics and the archaeologists are putting pressure on all these different groups, because it all comes down to money.
What the main thing is, they're saying it's not a pyramid as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying it's just a structure. It's not a pyramid.
Right. But even if it's not a pyramid, it's a structure, and they're trying to say it's natural. They will not thank you, national security. One man show. You got my back, man. Thank you. Everybody's shooting it out. Scott Unity, pretty much. National security issue, security risk.
Is it just for tourism purposes, or just
or is it more
grandeur that they don't want anyone to use the word pyramid?
Well, that's a big thing, but wouldn't
Yeah,
that
it's like
make
the French with champagne.
Well, I mean, with the pyramid though,
Yeah.
wouldn't it make it more attractive to people to show up and look at it?
Yeah, but
Like-
it's Kosovo. I don't think any sort of tourism is going to make people want to go there.
Yeah, where is that? Is it Kosovo?
It's not Kosovo because the only thing
No,
that
it's,
I'm looking up here, Kosovo is a monastery.
Bulgarian?
I thought it was Yugoslavia, but
No. I'll just put European. European pyramid.
oh, in Bosnia.
Bosnia.
Is
It's
that other
the
word.
pyramid of the sun, right?
Yeah, we knew there was an international crisis there recently, so it had to be that or Kosovo or Iraq.
Somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so oh no, that's not it. That's not it. Kosovo, you guys said, right? Okay, let's try that.
It's not Kosovo.
Oh,
No,
wait a
it's
minute. Where was it?
in Bosnia.
Bosnia.
I don't see a name for it though.
Yeah, it's not the sun. I forgot what the guy called it.
It's called the Bosnian Pyramid.
That's it right there, baby. Bosnian pyramid. Pseudo archaeology. Don't forget it's pseudo. And I love that Wikipedia, which you would think, oh, Wikipedia, encyclopedia, it must be the truth.
Check what the reference is. It's got a 1 next to it. Click on that. Let's see where it says pseudo.
All right. Erna. Les Piramides de Bosnia herde un affaire de pseudo-archaeology dans le contexte bosnien. The Pyramid of Bosnia and Herzegovina. I could say it better in a different language. A case of pseudo-archaeology in the Bosnian context.
You can't say Bosnia Herzegovina.
Yeah, Bosnia Herzegovina. That's what I just said. Thank you for saying
really
it
hurts.
first. Yeah, I don't know why they would put that right there, but they also put Graham Hancock as a pseudo archaeologist when he's a writer. The guy's a writer. But yeah, so this is, what do they call it though? They gave it a name, but it would be the largest man-made pyramid in the world if it turned out to be a pyramid. It's got a pyramidal shape to me. I don't know about you guys. But again,
I will say, to me, it kind of looks like a mountain.
It does.
Well, I mean, set it on fire. See what happens.
There you go. I mean, also, he has found, the guy has done excavations. He has found, like, I think pottery. He's found, like, laid out stonework, like in a pyramidic style, I guess.
Pyramidic style.
Pyramidic style. You like that? I just coined it.
I would have said pyramaic to make it sound a little bit more fancy.
Let's see what they say here. Many scholars have noted that the claims have been used for serious ideological, political, and economic gains by various factions in Bosnia. I bet you, what political side would they say has been using this? I'm guessing they would probably lean one direction.
Oh, it's definitely the alt-right in Bosnia.
Yeah,
you know what they're like.
Of course, it's the alt-right, right? His claims have been completely disproved by the scientific community. Now, that's not true. There are quite a few scientists that also agree that this could be man-made, but whatever. The idea that these mega groups like the Economic Forum, World Economic Forum, different groups like that are in control, and their conglomerates are in control of these sites and the excavations, because we're going to go back now to what we originally were talking about, Göbekli Tepe. The idea that they're in control of this, and a guy, Jimmy Corset, I think it is, from Bright Insight, made a video about this, and because he talked about it, the director or minister of archaeology for Turkey put forth that he should be banned from going to Turkey ever. Like, one guy's video made them respond like that. to me seems deeper than just, is he hitting the nail on the head saying that this could be more nefarious than we think? Like, what do they get out from controlling this information?
Well, you control the information. It doesn't matter what information it is. They just want to control it.
Mm-hmm. Complete
because that's where
control,
power
correct?
lies.
Is it just selfish because they want all the tourism for ancient civilizations to go to already established locations, and
It,
they don't want tourism to pop up near
No, because this is
it's got to be
Sarajevo?
more than tourism.
But
That seems like such a weird
what else does Turkey have when it comes to something like this?
Gallipoli.
Turkey has the most ancient site we know of, 2 of them, but yet they don't want to excavate it so that it can be seen for what it is. Don't you think that would actually raise tourism? Couldn't you create something where the tourists still get a feel that they're involved, but yet excavations can still happen? They made it so it's almost impossible. I mean, they built this monstrosity going around it just so people could be like, look at the couple T-shaped stones they found. Oh, there's another at least 125 under there.
What they've done is they're giving themselves a way out. So if something gets found, they can just say, "Well, this was probably done by one of the tourists." We get 1 million tourists here every couple of months, so we can't say this is definitely the discovery that we found.
Yeah,
so they can use that as a way out if they find something that contradicts their dogma.
Yeah, man, it's just you only have 5% of it, 5% excavated, and you do not plan. I wish if someone could find that article, it'd be awesome. Where they said they
I can't find it anymore. It's gone.
It's like it got wiped or something because I know I saw it. But the idea that they decided to push it off over a century, like I want to know now what this is. My kids may not know what this is. I just can't see how academia and archaeology gets behind that. The idea of, oh yeah, we don't need to know why or what the oldest site in the world, the meaning of it. We don't need to know.
No, they've already figured everything out. It's an old science, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. And then you got the sister site where it seems like they've gotten a lot more of that, at least dug out, but still they don't know what it was for. It's just very interesting to me that there's not more people pushing for shit like this. And you see the little global sign next to it? See that little globe?
Well, at least we know they're not flat earthers.
Yeah. If you go to where is it? You go to the World Economic Forum site. There you will find almost the same exact globe if you go to a certain page, and now I can't find it. Son of a bitch. But you like how they add that little global, hey, there you go. And that could have been somebody else doing it. But this idea that they did this, they put this monstrosity, I don't know, man. I can't, I'm hung up on it. It bothers me that there are these amazing sites, and you go to China right now and they are excavating like mofos the first emperor's tomb and the surrounding area. It blows my mind that yes, they can force their people to do it, but they're actually doing it. And then you got countries around here that don't want to touch it. What do you guys think in the chat about this? What do you think what is going on with it? Some people think Göbekli Tepe is the Tower of Babel. I never thought of that. Huh. I would just like to see what it really is. I don't know about you guys.
Well, this is the thing. Like, if they can tell exactly how big it is, so they say they know they got 5% of it. Why can't we see what the other part of it looks like? You've got the LiDAR.
Mm-hmm.
They could do 3D renderings. Like,
yeah,
why isn't that available?
Because I don't think I've ever seen it.
No, I've heard about it, but I've never seen a single thing about it.
Exactly. Like you look up LiDAR and it just shows you
It only shows you the already excavated site.
Yeah. First pictorial representation.
It's a pictorial representation. It's not a LiDAR, so.
No, what these people did was just go over the top of what is already there. Yeah. What does that even mean to me? You know, like, how much older is it down there? And these freaking, like, how brilliant were they to plant? I'm not saying they did it, because supposedly whoever owns the land did it, but you decided 20 years after this was discovered, adding these olive trees, like these just a freaking orchard of olive trees on 3 different parts of this ancient structure. And the law is you can't cut down olive trees. Like, you have to get a special something to do it. I don't get it.
Oh, well, they must have had a
take a look at that.
Yeah, must have had the permits.
All right, so the lovely Tina Bojan just sent this to me, and what are we looking at here, Tina?
Well, based on the description here, it talked about that even though it is a site of extreme historical significance, that they have halted all excavation, and like you said earlier, a roof's been installed over the site, and specific areas that needed to be excavated have been covered with trees, like you mentioned. So I didn't know how important this article was. I just
this is a really good one. If you could read it from where you're at, do you mind reading it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Göbekli Tepe, one of the world's oldest known temples, has revolutionized our understanding of human history. However, following the death of archaeologist Klaus Schmidt, who led the excavations on July 20th of 2014, the site's management became controversy and faced allegations of mismanagement, as in discontinuing archaeological studies on purpose. This situation raised a profound question. How can this be explained to the Turkish public and the world? The allegations mean that a true part of history relating to the human race is being kept secret, indicating something with the power to change everything known about history by mankind and has a great importance is kept unknown on purpose. After Schmidt's passing in 2014, excavation efforts at Göbekli Tepe stopped. In 2016, project management was transferred to the Dogas Group, a prominent Turkish conglomerate. This transition has led to various claims and criticisms, which have been subject to thorough investigation. Some allegations remain unverified due to the scarcity of Turkish sources and governmental privacy, while others have been substantiated. A significant issue highlighted by the Global Heritage Fund is that only 5% of Göbekli Tepe has been excavated, a finding echoed by news reports from 2017, 19, 2020, and 2022. This limited excavation has raised concerns regarding the site's preservation and the scope of archaeological research conducted. Critics argue that after assuming control, the Dogas Group ceased excavation work and instead focused on developing the site for tourism. This included constructing a protective roof supported by steel columns, which created claims suggesting that the ancient stones have been pierced through.
Oh, God. Can you imagine that? That they drove those steel columns? Oh, my God.
I mean, especially if they had the LiDAR to be able to tell where it might be safer to create something. But there's got to be some other kind of structure that they could put to protect that. I mean, some type of surface level tarp or something. I mean, it just doesn't make sense that they would need to build
it's not about protecting it. It's not about
that's right.
Giving, hey, you're out of the sun now, tourist. You can take your time looking at this. That's what that's about.
Yeah, so such modifications have been criticized for potentially compromising the site's archaeological integrity, emphasizing economic considerations over scholarly exploration.
Hold on, sorry.
Doors. Further complicating the situation, the World Economic Forum reportedly intervened with the Dogas Group's management of Göbekli Tepe. Following this intervention, all potential excavation activities were suspended. The site has since been covered with asphalt concrete and Construction equipment, such as bulldozers and jackhammers, have been used to build roads. Additionally, there have been reports of afforestation efforts on the excavation site. Those are those trees that Scott was pointing out earlier. This has raised alarm among archaeologists as the roots of newly planted trees could penetrate and damage the ancient stones, making future excavations even more challenging, fortifying the belief that the government is trying to hide something kept in Göbekli Tepe, such as new beliefs or historical figures which contrast with what humans know right now, changing history. Klaus Schmidt's widow, also an archaeologist, visits Göbekli Tepe annually. Shocked by the changes, she has described the situation as absurd and has shared unseen photos of the road construction on Instagram, sparking further conflict among...
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to figure out why certain people aren't being shown in the chat on YouTube, but I could see them. That's weird. Where did I leave you off? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's right. That's right. Instagram sparking further conflict among the archaeological community. In light of these developments, the site's official opening date for tourism has been announced. This announcement symbolizes how the government's intention with Göbekli Tepe is fully economic, meaning no archaeological development is intended for any time soon, raising concerns in the archaeology community. Shortly after, Klaus Schwab, founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, made a statement declaring that Göbekli Tepe excavation had, if you can scroll down.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
That's okay.
Yep.
Had been left for future generations. Although many think otherwise, this statement has been interpreted by some as an admission of the cessation of ongoing archaeological work. Ferit Shahank, CEO and chairman of the Dogus Group, has been honored and praised at the World Economic Forum, further fueling the controversy in now the forum's intentions. Critics question how such privileges can be justified in light of the stopped excavations and the alleged damage to the site. Ultimately, since 2016, all excavation work at Göbekli Tepe, a site of extreme historical significance, has reportedly been stopped. Instead, a roof has been constructed over the site, and areas that need to be excavation have been covered with trees. Furthermore, the use of heavy, I think some of this is being repeated from earlier above, but basically saying that they're concerned of how covering the interior of Hagia Sophia with drywall or replacing the seating stones of an ancient theater with new marble. It's on an entirely different level. The trees will root into stones that are at least 11,000 years old, making future excavation almost impossible. Covering an archaeological site with concrete has no justification if not explained to the citizens of that country.
Well, I just don't get it. I'm sorry. I just don't get any of that. Like, first of all, I didn't even think about the steel pillars being driven into the ground right into where this ancient site is. Like, that hill isn't a hill. It was covered. That whole thing is an archaeological site. I can't speak. That it should be protected. It shouldn't have a grove of olive trees. It shouldn't have any of this stuff, and they're going to destroy what is underneath, and I think that is the purpose.
Absolutely. It says the interesting part is that the Turkish public remains largely unaware. Eventually, the archaeological community and the citizens who were aware of the issue are curious as though how such blunder can be explained by executives of the Dogus Group, leaving this issue unsolved.
Yeah. What's up, Vinny? How are you, man?
Yeah, I just noticed the link. Thanks, man. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Yeah, the World Economic Forum are not good people.
No, you dare say that, sir.
They are awful.
Dude, I can't. How are you doing, man? I don't understand. Like, you were writing, and I could see it over here on my StreamYards, but there's like only like 4 people I can see in the chat.
Oh, I saw you guys on X, Rumble, or Twitter.
Oh yeah,
Twitter,
you are
X,
on X. I'm sorry, man. Good call. Okay, sorry about that.
It's all good.
So now I know you are into stuff we're into. So what do you, if you've been listening at all, like World Economic Forum, now one of their groups, this freaking, what are they called again? The
Dogus
group. They are in control since 2016 of Göbekli Tepe's excavation, and they have done maybe 0.001% since then of excavation. And they decided that, and there is a statement somewhere where he said, we're leaving it for future generations to do. What do you think about that?
They're probably going to end up destroying that site at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to do something, because that's kind of proof that our civilization is older than they claim and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Oh, was I cutting out?
No, not at all. Not at all. You're fine.
I was cutting out.
What, you're cutting out, or am I cutting
my
out?
internet's been kind of hit and miss.
Oh no, you've been pretty good.
Maybe it was me.
Yeah, you sound solid.
But yeah, I think these people, they're a lot of scumbags. They want to keep us in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, they would love the Dark Ages. They do not want a renaissance of any sort. It's pretty terrifying to think of what they have done to something that we just rediscovered after 12,000 years. The idea that you turn it into Turkey's Disneyland. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the Bronx Zoo or something. You pave over it. What is that old song? Cut down the trees and put in
they paved paradise and put up a parking lot.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's only been redone like 3 times.
Yeah. I know the Counting Crows did it.
Yeah, not very
well. You don't know what it's like till it's gone.
Not very well at all. What Vanessa Carlton?
Janet Jackson did a cover of that as well.
I think Vanessa Carlton did. She did. Oh no, maybe she was on that one.
No, it's a different chick.
Yeah. Janet. Yeah, so this idea that I don't know, is it just money, or is it knowledge, or is it both? Culture?
What?
It could be both, right? I mean, they're making a shit. I would love to see the growth in tourism in the last decade there. Because I'm betting
I would love to make an argument to the government to remove the olive trees immediately, because they're set to destroy what's beneath.
Yes.
And then I would hold the buttfuck group, or whatever the hell they're called.
It sounds about right.
Responsible for, destroying an archaeological site and to remove their ownership of said land.
Mm-hmm.
Because this should not be controlled by anybody other than the government, and the government should be responsible for maintaining it and its excavation.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Tina.
There could be some huge discovery related to our belief and how the world was created, whether it's faith-based or scientific, that could be uncovered here. And that, unfortunately, doesn't gel with the non-religious, everybody's one world organization that they're trying to develop.
Their religion.
Right. Their replacement for religion, basically.
Yeah, that progressive left religion.
Go ahead. They don't believe in religion. It's a technocracy is what they believe in.
Oh, well, good. Well put, man. It is. I mean, there's so many fascinating things we've found in just 5%. Like just these interesting, the pillars themselves tell stories, and we're just with animals that may not even, like, if you're looking at them, I don't think they're from that region. So how did they know about them? It's like that spot either in Bolivia or Peru where they have all the different faces. It's like a little enclosure, and they have faces that look of African descent, Asian. One looks alien. Where did they see these faces to know to, make almost like a caricature of them?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, ground penetrating radar, LiDAR, a whole bunch of other things like that.
It's interesting stuff for sure.
He's cutting in and out.
It's fine. But unfortunately, Scott, I have to step out. This is wonderful.
Brother. I'm so sorry coming, man.
Yeah, no, I'm so sorry. I need to eat, edit, and then I have a show with my members, my gold members tonight.
Nice.
So I just want to say thank you all for the invitation, and I love this type of stuff. So never hesitate to send me the link. I just can't always promise to be available. So,
that's fine, man. I appreciate you coming.
Vinny, if you hear me, it's great to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
It's been a minute and a half.
Culture, one more time, congratulations on the 25K, and make sure you say hello to the boss for me.
No, you bet. Yeah, we gotta rush supper. So, but anyway, thanks again, guys. Stick around, and if you're not subscribed to Scott or you're seeing this on the replay, hit that red button. Subscribe to Scott. He this is the the woo woo stuff that he covers, but he also does other great things, like believe that GRRM is going to write the books.
Yeah, we're getting them.
And he does cover some things that are interesting as well outside of the woo woo. Anyway, I'll see you all later. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, brother.
Folks. Bye.
Take care, man.
See ya.
All right. Yeah, you know what's crazy?
I heard they found one of the Game of Thrones books. It was at that site.
Göbekli Tepe. It's got the story of.
They found it with LiDAR, though. We haven't.
He finally finished it, but on the other way around, because it turns out that time is actually circular. So
yeah, well, that's why they don't want to excavate it anymore, because he'll have to release it. So yeah, that's awesome. You guys are great. I really like you. Thanks for being here, Vinny. You son of a bitch.
Adam Price said something interesting in the comments. When the British came in World War I, the Ottomans were still in the Stone Age, and they didn't care about British archaeologists digging stuff up everywhere. Today, they gatekeep it.
Amen, man. Mm-hmm. Well put. Well put. And it's
about controlling. Yeah, it's about controlling history. That's they don't want people to know certain things.
Right.
It's like what they're pushing. Their wacky, crazy views and what they want to do. If you heard what the hell's his name? That rat looking guy, not Klaus Schwab, the one underneath him.
Yeah,
Mr. Burns.
No, that's Klaus Schwab.
It's like on the tip of my. It's on the tip of my tongue. He's a really skinny rat looking guy.
Well, have a look at your tongue
then. Noah Harari. I think that's it. Noah Harari. That guy. That's all he talks about when they bring him to those. Yeah, they take him to those summit meetings and all that crap. And he is recorded multiple times talking about how they believe that they're the gods. They don't care about ancient civilizations. It's about their technocracy and what they're pushing. So you could see their crazy views and what they want people to ingest.
Yeah. I mean, if you take a look at this, Mr. Klaus Schwab. Oh shit, I just screwed that up. Hold on.
Yeah, don't forget about the Georgia Guidestones. I mean, that was their proof, and that's why they destroyed it.
They blew.
Oh no, that was okay. That was just a random explosion that happened in the middle of the night. That happened all the time in that area. It's a UAP phenomenon. Don't you worry about it.
That's it. Giant slabs of stones always just explode on their own.
Yeah,
well, you see, because the pressure with the biometric, and then it was made of the wrong granite. So yeah,
that's your boy Klaus and his Papa, and that looks kind of German-esque 1930s uniform.
I think they said he was about like 5th in command or something. So he was right
he
there.
was close. He was close to him.
Holy crap.
Yeah, they try to tell us he's not. People are like, no, that's not it. No, no, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, Mr. Schwab and his dad, that's them. Really nice guys. Good people. Yeah. I used to be able to put in Göbekli Tepe Olive Grove before and after, and you'll get a side by side.
It's one of the most censored ones out there. It's more censored now than bloody Google is.
And I know it has been. What should I use?
Bing.
What about Brave?
Who knows?
Bing
or Brave? I don't know.
Bing. We'll take another angle look at what they have done to the beautiful Göbekli Tepe right here.
Well, if you look at that one image, it looks like there's a golf course on the left.
Yeah, right. It's like over here. Like, what the hell is that?
That sounds about right. But that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna level that whole area and make it a giant golf course for the elite.
Yeah, pretty much, where they play with our heads. I mean, literally, if you see, look how big the olive grove has gotten in the back over here, and then they planted these two. Again, I don't know how many times I can say this. This whole hill is the monuments. Like, they have these roots going into the stone. They have steel beams going into the stone. They have concrete poured over the stone. And yet they're holistic. You remember where you read that earlier? Holistically doing this? That's some bullshit.
Remember when they also said nothing would grow there?
Yes. Nothing will grow there except for olives, which by law you can't cut down. I've said that 100 times tonight, but I can't stop reinforcing that. Why do you plant the one plant that takes like a freaking government order to be able to cut it down?
And it's not like there isn't a whole lot of open land around there. They could have planted those olive trees.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know if you know this about the humble olive plant, but one single olive tree can last up to 500 years.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, they get old, and those roots like to go deep. Yeah.
The root system can go down, they reckon, about a quarter of a mile from a single plant.
Are you serious? A quarter of a mile? I didn't realize
it can go down a quarter of a mile. Yeah.
Oh my God! Insane. So there you go. You just destroyed this ancient site with olive trees.
And I said that was a single one.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not talking about a grove. That
you just destroyed it. It's unbelievable. One thing I wanted to look at. Keep speaking, guys. Go ahead. I miss this.
Okay, well, another monster says we are all gods, so that's cool.
Well, we may all have it in our heart, you know.
Exactly. And
you should check your DMs. Soul sent you a pic.
Okay. Oh, you know, Ruben sent me something too. He said some video. I'll check it in a second. Let's see. There you go. Thank you, buddy.
Garlic bread is destroying history. Oh, that's okay. I can't argue with that one. Awesome one.
Is it because of the chemicals they put into the bread? Is that why?
What am I looking at here, Soul? Is this before they even started digging?
Oh, I know what he was trying to say with the garlic bread. It's like the cows, you know, they're trying to say that the farts from the cows are destroying the ozone layer. It's not. It's people eating garlic bread in their farts. I knew it.
Ah, there you go. There you go.
Let's see what he has here. So nothing grew there. Look, there's nothing. So this is before. Okay, there is nothing growing there. The slope right here and behind where you could see they started to take some of the dirt off is now all olive grove. That's insane, dude. I don't know about you. I can't get off that.
Yeah, what kind of games are they trying to play?
Right? Let's see.
Nothing to see here. We're just putting a plant here that we know when it's in a grove is going to burrow down.
Right.
You can't cut it down, and nothing else will grow here.
How about another virtual trip and a little tour? Okay. Let's take the virtual tour, guys. This will get me copyright struck because they love copyright striking me. So this is your virtual tour. So look at those. All right, hold on. Let me go back just a hair. Look at those steel beams. Damn you. Stop.
Yeah, no, they were always there.
Right there. Those were always there.
Ancient steel beam structures, yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows about those. Look at that going right into the site. That's insane. And they probably like covered the ones up here because you can see one right there. Wow, dude. That's terrible. Yeah, let's get in there. Let's see what else we got. Oh, there's some right there. Yeah. Oh, look at that one. Yeah, that's a good one. That's unbelievable. Oh, these are really good. Look at that. Let's pour some concrete over here somewhere.
I can't remember. I didn't remember seeing it in the article. Did they say that? Did the Turkish government? Do they have ownership of the land, or
think
just
it's
the World
private.
Economic Forum now?
No. Somebody else owns the land. What the Dogus group got was the contract for exclusive excavation rights. So they're the only group for the next 20 years. So they have the tourism and the excavation. Pretty much the tourism. That's what they want. Oh, there's Vinny. I was wondering where he went.
Yeah, sorry, my internet just keeps acting up. I don't know if
Did someone just put him out? Sorry about that, Vinny. What was that?
All right. Yeah, I don't know if it's StreamYard or the internet itself. Earlier, I had some problems with the internet, but we've had a lot of storms coming in and out.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Could be that.
I mean, look at this stone wall right here. It goes around. Oh, let's put a steel beam right there. Boom, boom. And you have director of excavations for the Turkish government is Nimel Karul. He is a professor of archaeology at Istanbul University. He's like the chair of the whole department. And he has a lot of, from what's been reported, connections with the government and also some business type, I don't know, Nazi baby people. So the idea that they literally sold our history to this group of people that do not want us to know our history, that should tell you right there what Turkey thinks about this.
It is interesting because isn't that a big part of what Germany was doing between the world wars is collecting much religious relics and access to that documentation? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was, they were looking for the Spear of Destiny, the Grail, the Ark of the Covenant, and not just, Christian or Jewish or even Muslim. They were looking for things in other, in the Himalayas. I mean, these guys were, if not nothing, they were good archaeologists. I got to give them that. I mean, they went everywhere, but for nefarious reasons. This is insane, dude. Where is my man? There he is. Ruben sent a link. Yeah. All right, so this is. I'll probably get hit for this, but whatever. I enjoy screwing myself over. Let me just put this in here. This is the 2024 update of Göbekli Tepe. Let's see what these guys have to say. Who is this? Let's check out the site first. This is Ancient Architects. Just so you know, I'm subscribing, so don't hate me. They have 583,000. What am I doing wrong? Here we go. Let's see what these guys have to say.
Archaeology.
Yeah.
It has an incredible age, with origins going all the way back to 11,500 years ago.
Is that too loud?
The size of the site is also enormous. And then you have the large, amazing megalithic pillars, and their associated relief carvings are breathtaking. And there is still so much more to Göbekli Tepe.
At least 125 more T-shaped pillars that are underground. Yeah, there's more.
Wow.
There's more. Yeah, they've only excavated, I think, and like when they say excavate, like at this level, 75 of them.
I'm surprised
I still haven't seen. What were you going to say, buddy?
I'm surprised that they gave them this much footage that they let them put out there.
Yeah. Well, someone must.
And if you want to learn more, I have an entire playlist of videos. In this video, I'm going to give you a short update on some new and very important discoveries, some of which could well be structures, specifically whether or not they had a roof. And this is important because some artists' impressions show these structures as open air, and there are a number of
Do you know this guy, Grant?
Why the
Sounds like a relative. Open.
He heard an accent, so he's just...
hypotheses that require them to have no roof. Now, I've always thought that T-pillars had a structural purpose, adding strength to their associated boundary walls, but also supporting a roof. Hence why the two central pillars are taller. Sure, they likely had symbolic importance as well, hence their decoration. But first and foremost, I believe they were structural.
This guy thinks the T-shaped pillars, the bigger ones in the middle, were because they had a roof over it?
Yeah, that's what he thinks.
That's what he thinks. But the thing is, you want to do this.
Emphasize the last part of the word. It's like he's only reading one line at a time.
He went to some
the next sentence is.
Yeah, He went to some debate club and he was like, "Oh, that's how you speak."
Is it?
You got to use your emphasis at the end of the word.
Is it an AI voiceover?
No, I thought it was AI.
I thought at first too.
The weird inflections are too weird.
Any roof would of course have been made from wood, but unless conditions are exceptional, wood does not survive 10 to 12,000 years. Well, I was surprised and happy to learn that Dr. Claire and the archaeologists at Göbekli Tepe have now discovered evidence of wooden beams in the fill of Enclosure D.
Enclosure D, they found
just
wooden
above
beams.
the floor of this building, they found the negatives of wooden beams. The beams were a few meters long and they were also crossed, which is what we'd expect with roof beams.
Okay.
So it looks like the roof collapsed into the enclosure, becoming part of the rubble fill, and then, over time, the wood rots and disappears.
Just let everybody know out there, if I get claimed, I may just delete this section. You won't know that, though, because I said it way too late.
Leaving the negative in the rubble, so we can see it even though it's not there.
Oh, the negative. I got
And
you.
that's why painstaking and meticulous
We
excavation
can see it, even
is so
though it's
important.
not there.
Right. And he says painstaking excavation. Like, there's one dude excavating and
That's
everybody
why
else.
painstaking and meticulous
workers.
excavation is so important.
Excavators have a
experts just
union
went
too, you
in-
know.
Yeah, they must. They must.
With a JCB and took out all of the rubble in a hurry, we would never have found any evidence of wooden.
Okay.
Yeah,
See what he did right there?
This is the reason why he was able to get that footage, because this is their piece.
Did you hear what he said there?
Yeah.
You caught that too, right? It was, and I'll play it one more time because that was freaking perfect.
Took out all of the rubble. If the experts just went in with a JCB and took out all of the rubble in a hurry, we would never have found any evidence of wooden beams.
Okay. None of us are saying to go in with whatever a JCB is. An
Yeah, so that's
excavator of
like
some type.
basically like an excavating forklift mixed in with a bobcat.
Okay, so it's like one of those little skidders or whatever they call
Yeah,
them.
but think of it the size of your house.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, no, that's not what any of us want. The idea though, he's pressing that they
Gaslight
got it.
motherfucker.
They gotta go slow. They have to. If they went fast, we wouldn't learn anything.
We wouldn't have found the wood. Well, there you go. You upset Vinny now.
Sorry, Vinny. That's not meticulous. And he goes, Adam says he's swinging like he's chopping meat. Vinny or Frankie knows. Frankie. He says this guy only speaks in long vowels. I might do a whole video.
The mystery over whether or not the structures had a roof would be unsolvable. But now we have some hard evidence.
We found some wood.
Which brings us nicely to the famous Pillar 43 of Enclosure D.
He's going to be like, it means nothing. Like, we don't even need to know anything about this.
This was a children's drawing.
Yeah, some child did this.
Oh wait! The handbag purses,
Yep.
In this image, they kind of look like Volkswagen bugs. So that might be why the Germans are interested in it.
Wait, I came back to hearing that the Germans are interested in this because of Volkswagen bugs.
Yeah, that's what she's saying about
keep
the
up,
bags.
Vinny. Come on.
Jeez.
I
knew it. I speculated
Have you not
that,
been
but I didn't want to
paying
say it.
attention?
The only thing you missed was he did say that the reason they're going slow and not using, massive excavating tools is because they would miss stuff. That's why it's so slow. Like,
Sure.
what? Sure. Now he's talking about the famous Pillar 43.
These so-called handbags that are carved in relief at the top of the pillar.
I gotta say, I didn't know like the jaguar. I didn't see like the jaguar up here before. And so there's like 3 different animals. This has something to do with aliens.
Now, one hypothesis for this imagery is that we're actually...
logo.
Uh-oh, what'd you say? No, seriously, I'm that good of a... Oh, Vinny, I'm that good of a YouTuber? Thanks, bro. You back?
Yeah, my
looking
internet
at
just keeps lagging.
I know, dude. It's all right. It doesn't bother us. It's more fun this way.
man-made
We can make fun of you.
One hypothesis for this imagery is that we're actually looking at 3 man-made structures in cross-section, and the dome on top is the roof. I have a video.
Do you guys think that's a man-made structure?
There you go. Those are 3 buildings next to each other, and the dome is the roof. I think is what he's trying to say.
There you go. Hard evidence.
That does not look like, dude. Come on. You really
those
think
are car doors?
They have to be. They're taxis.
It is the Volkswagen. Sorry, Tina's right. It's the Volkswagen. I think this is some kind of a time loop location. Ooh. And like I said, they got to move slowly because they're going to find the next Game of Thrones book in there.
Yeah, I swear if they do,
it makes sense because it's made of wood.
We're only a couple away from 20 likes. Please like and share.
On this hypothesis, and I've linked it.
You know what? I'm sorry. I can't. How do I unsubscribe? There we go. All right. Sorry about this, dude. I can't with this guy.
Now he'll definitely
below in the description.
Yo, he's gonna definitely nail me. But you know what?
Happy birthday to my favorite.
But of course, it is just a hypothesis. But if we go with it just for a minute, some think they might be showing us 3 of the large oval enclosures. Of course, it was always debated whether or not these structures had a roof. But with the new finding of the wooden beams and the fill of enclosure D, this now looks more and more likely. There are a number of artist impressions out there already.
Right. He said hard.
You said it was hard
right?
to prove that it was, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too. Okay, I was just trying to make sure. I mean that's a cool depiction of what it could have been, but if
it was Hobbiton,
maybe
for how the structures may have looked with a roof. So maybe the 3 carvings on pillar 43 could be depicting the oval enclosures. Interestingly, in the new interview with Dr. Claire on Flint Dibble's channel, he tells us about another fascinating discovery at Göbekli Tepe, which could also be what these so-called handbags are portraying.
Göbekli Tepe.
In the northwestern part of the site, in an area that's not yet open to the public, a large, deep pit, maybe a cistern, was discovered. It has a diameter of 8 meters and a depth of 3. On the edge of the pit, on its rim, there are 3 or 4...
Yeah, I thought so too, but I don't know.
...courses of corbelled roofing. This may indicate an entire corbelled roof, and this could also explain the rounded shape of the so-called handbags. Maybe they're cisterns or were built for some kind of storage. Leon Flint also
I hate to say, you might have a point, but
discussed the burial of the oval enclosures, which, as I've stated more than once over the past few years, is no longer believed to be a deliberate act.
What? Okay, time out. Has anybody else heard that? Has anybody else heard that it wasn't deliberate to bury this thing? I believe
so they're making us believe that some other type of natural...
Did they ever give speculation?
I think he's about to. All right, let's
is no longer believed to be a deliberate act. For many years, it was believed that these oval enclosures, which are situated in a low point of the...
Dude, right? And it's not just like it filled up with dirt. There is a lot of stone there. And it's not like it's next to another bigger hill that could have... let's see what he has to say.
You know what things at the top of hills, they usually get flooded. Everyone knows that about tops of hills.
Yeah.
Kind of hollow, were decommissioned and then deliberately backfilled and buried. But from reanalyzing the fills of enclosures B, C and D, Dr. Claire and his colleagues now believe that this is unlikely. What? And this is new research from the past 2 years. When we look at a cross-section of the site, we can see that there is a very steep slope with the special purpose oval buildings at the bottom, and the domestic settlement higher up and surrounding them. Erosion and slope slides cause material to fall downhill, and even today there are problems with erosion at the site.
Well,
The experts have also found evidence of terraced walls, built in the pre-pottery Neolithic, and to hold back the sediment, rubble and waste from creeping down the hill. But on more than one occasion, perhaps after some heavy rain and/or an earthquake, the slopes did give way, and we find evidence of slope slides into the enclosures.
Okay. I can understand if there could be some shifting of material into what is lower on the hill, but yet there was no other hill there. It's not like it was cut into like the side of a hill. They built the hill. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how he believes, like, they may have built levels of it, but it's not a natural formation. So to say they didn't mean it, unless the flood got to it, I think it would have caused way more damage than what we see here.
No, Scotty, you heard the British man. No, this is all natural. That's literally how things think. They flood upwards.
Is he British? Oh my God.
Yes.
That is British, isn't it? Sorry,
yes,
my Aussie friends. Oh my God. We got to wrap this up.
Each enclosure that was in the firing line.
Yeah, red.
What is that? Did you just hear that?
I keep hearing Matt's
I
voice.
I keep
don't know
hearing
why.
Matt's voice when I play this. Is he with this guy?
Matt's
would have
not
been
British.
demolished from the weight of the
That's a completely
material
different
from
person.
higher up. It's also worth noting that when Göbekli Tepe was an active settlement, the climate was wetter than it is today.
Hmm.
The key takeaway then is that the
global
natural
warming.
explanation for the fill
Global
of the
drying.
enclosures.
I can't listen to this guy anymore. All right.
So okay, this is how dumb it is. He's like saying, "Look, there's a slope there, so obviously the stuff fell down from there." It's like, but if the stuff fell down from there, then it wouldn't be a big slope anymore.
Exactly.
It makes no sense, man. It makes no sense. Like, of course it's going to slide down. Man, if man filled it, it's not packed. It, as best as man can do, water, earthquakes, anything will make it move. Like, that is the dumbest. But Flint Dibble Dabber said it. Whatever. I'm gonna watch this later though by myself. Yeah, I don't know. But I do have to wrap it up. I have to get to work early tomorrow, of course. I had a lot of fun. Thanks again to Culture and Vinny for stopping by. We'll have Vinny on when his internet is working better. Thursday night, we'll have another Aluminum Spork. So if you guys can comment when this video is over, either on Rumble or on YouTube, what topic you'd like us to cover on Thursday. If it's a good one, we'll cover it. So come back, make sure you comment. It helps with the algorithm. You guys need anything you'd like to? I swear to God, I keep hearing mad. This is weird. You guys have anything you want to plug?
Well, I'll
No.
plug on behalf of Vinny. If you want to hear more about Vinny and all fun culture topics, give his page, Vinny Art, a like. His link was shared a couple of times within the chat, and he streams regularly on Fridays at 5 Eastern and on Sundays right around 8:30, 9 o'clock Eastern. So come visit us. We have a fun time talking about all kinds of topics that are driving us crazy, making us angry, and also making us laugh.
Yeah, Vinny's a great dude. I always like Vinny and that whole crew. So make sure you guys check him out. Culture Casino doesn't need my help, but if you're not subscribed to him, please do. He's on the road to 50K. Anyway, thank you and your moms and everyone who cares about me. We will see you Thursday night for Maybe You Decide. So please make sure you comment below right after this is done. Take care, everybody.
Okay, see you.
Why do you always do that? What did you have to say?
I said, okay, see you, bye.
Oh, okay, see you, bye.
Yeah, hi, this is Red. Yeah, Rad Raw Chicken, and I just want to say that the guy who runs this channel is pretty awesome, and probably
now I know it's you.
Lover too. I would know.